Hello, everyone. This week, we are going to focus on technology-based lessons. We're going to take your technology-based activities that you're using, and we're going to discuss what the right tool is, what a recipe versus a project is, and some of the challenges that we are going to face that you probably currently face right now, and going to talk about how to create a technology lesson or project where it gives the students the power, where we do not give them all of the tools, but we lead them in the correct direction of the goal. So first thing we're going to talk about is what is the right tool? Is there a specific tool that you have to use? Does the project have to be in Word, in PowerPoint, in Publisher, in an online forum? Does it have to be on some kind of video making software? What is the right tool to complete any project? Currently, there are many teachers that do give their students projects, and typically the way it works is the teacher will give them a worksheet that has a set of 15 different steps. Step 1, go to your partner. Step 2, discuss the goal. Step 3, everyone in the group gets a specific job. Step 4, work independently. Step 5, go to the computer lab, and so forth until you go through every assigned task. And when it's done, all of the projects will most likely be displayed someplace, but they all look exactly the same, every one of them. And for projects like these, it can often be called a recipe instead of a project because everyone has to follow the same exact steps in the same exact order to get the same exact outcome. My question is why? Why do all of the steps have to be exactly the same? Why does everything have to be the same? What if we give our students the goal, but they choose the path? So what is the biggest challenge that we have? Well, I believe there are two large challenges that come in a situation like this. The first challenge is that kids are unique, creative, and out-of-the-box thinkers. Go into a kindergarten or first grade classroom and you give the whole group of students a challenge. You give them Play-Doh, Legos, blocks, crayons, markers, and say, I need you to create a building. A building has to have 5 stories and it has to have 5 different colors. And if you were to do this with those 5 and 6-year-olds, the creations that you would get would be absolutely amazing. There would be none of them that look exactly the same. Everything would have their own take. And if you were to ask the students to explain what they're doing, they would have an elaborate story of it. If you were to take those same exact students and give them the same exact goal, and now they have to pick a new tool, they will have just as many unique creations, but the goal will still be accomplished. They still will have that building with that set amount of colors that you said. Another one of the biggest challenges that many educators face is the control that we have in our classroom. Beginning of the year, we teach our kids this is how you sit in the chair, this is how you respond in a conversation, this is how you raise your hand and you wait for your turn to talk, this is how you get in line, this is where you put the papers. When you're doing a project where you give the students the goal, but you don't define the path, you've got to take a step back. You've got to let the kids do what they need to do. Some kids are going to do great on their own and get it right the first time. Other kids are going to have challenges and they're going to make mistakes and they're going to realize that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But the most important thing is guiding the students down the right path and allow them to pick what is the technology piece that we need to include? What is the product that we need to use? You pick product A, but why is that product not working? What is the piece that you need to think about in order to keep moving forward in your goal? So when you give them a goal, you want to make sure that it's clearly defined. What does the final outcome have to be? Does it have to be a 2-minute video displaying simple machines in their daily life? They can create that video any way they want. They can create it with images. They can do it in their kitchen, in their backyard, in their playground, in their classroom, how are they going to achieve this goal? What tools are you going to allow them to use to get there? But the most important thing that you can do is let them know this is exactly what I want. When you are done, this is what the job is going to be. And this part is the hardest part of letting go of some of that control and giving the power to the students because you are inviting chaos into your classroom. Now, for you, the educator who has possibly defined the goals, who has defined some limitations because students will need limitations, who has also defined what what they can do, what they can't do, who they can work with, where they can work. But in that, you're giving them parameters that are a little bit broader, and it's going to be a little bit of a mess, and that is okay. Sometimes the kids are going to do this, and it's going to be great, and sometimes you're going to have to stop and rework what happens. So, what is the right tool? And you remember this slide looked like the same one at the beginning. Is there a right tool for these students to use? Is there a certain product that you want them to use? What is it that you want them to accomplish? And what are the options that they can choose? Now, once you have set some clear boundaries, there is no one right tool because you will know if you spend some time with some students that they will give you 100 different ways to get to the same place. Think about when you and a partner, a friend, a spouse, significant other is driving someplace and you're starting at point A and you have to go to point B, you're going to find that you have different paths to get there. You're both going to get there. One of you may like the high-speed highways, or the other one may enjoy the backcountry roads with less traffic lights. Both of you are going to get the destination, but it's just going to be the tool that works best for you. There is one disclaimer that needs to happen, though, is that when you have young children, talking fourth, fifth grade and younger, they might not have the background to know which product works best with which tool. So you need to make sure that your students understand how to use tools. How do I use Microsoft Word? How do I use Office? How do I use PowerPoint? How do I use certain tools and what are they best used for? So before you give them certain goals and certain projects, you have to make sure they understand what the tool is that they're going to use.